Hi, Paul Telling here, T-E-L-L-I-N-G, and I'm a graphic recorder and creative communications creator. And part of doing that is understanding who your audience are. So I just thought I'd post this video on this wonderful sunny day on understanding your audience. And one of those things is understanding that we all have different internal representation systems. So an internal representation system is how we view the world, and it comes from over time you have a preference for a different way of seeing the world. So some of us are visual, some of us are auditory, some of us are kinesthetic, and some of us are AD. And what this means is that we prefer a certain way of speaking, we may breathe differently, we dress differently, and essentially view the world differently. And if you're not speaking to each one of these internal representation systems in your communications, as in fact all of them at the same time, then you're missing out on part of your audience, and part of your audience is feeling uncomfortable. It also means that you can see how people communicate through your emails. So if someone uses a lot of visual predicate phrases like see, visual, vision, an eyeful, bird's eye view, paint a picture, create a masterpiece, those sort of words that start to give you an image when they're written, you can relate back to them in the same language and create better rapport and a better communication. So I just thought I'd list a few of the predicate phrases that the different internal representation systems use, and also give you a few clarifying points around how these people may dress differently, how they may breathe differently, so that you are able to spot this in your audience and listen out for these predicate phrases, and therefore communicate to your audience and the people you want to communicate better. So we'll start with visual. So visual people they tend to memorize by seeing things, seeing pictures, and are less distracted by noise. They speak really quickly, and they get bored by long, verbal, slow, monotonous conversation and lectures. And they're interested in how things look. So they use words like see, look, view, appear, show, dawn, reveal, envision, imagine, clear, foggy, clarity, crystal, and picture. And they tend to dress really nice because they like to look good, and looking good makes them feel good and all that sort of stuff. So you can notice someone usually by their shoes. If they've got really nice shiny shoes, especially a guy, then they'll more likely have a visual preference for their internal representation system, or their IR. An auditory person are very easily distracted by noise, and they can repeat things back to you really easily just by listening. They like music and like to talk to you on the phone. So these people will be the ones who, when you send an email, call you up and talk to you. And it's their tone of voice and the words you use are really important to them. So if you're using a really monotonous tone and not really talking, but if you're elevating your voice and putting intonation in it and really speaking to them in an interesting and fun way, then they're going to be more interested in what you're saying. They use words like hear, listen, sounds like, make music, resonate, harmonize, be heard, silence, rings a bell. So all those words that give you a sound in your head. And then kinesthetic people, often they talk really slowly and breathy, and they respond to physical rewards and recognition, so they like to receive things. They memorize by doing, so walking through something and playing it out, and they'll be interested in things if it feels right, if their gut reaction to it is good. So they use things like words like feel, touch, grasp, get hold of, get a handle of, slip through, catch on, throw out, turn around, huddle, unfeeling, concrete, get a handle of, solid. So those, you can really feel those words or see how they connect to touching or feeling something. And then AD people tend to spend a fair amount of time talking to themselves and processing things in their head. They memorize by steps and sequences, and they want to know a program makes sense, or that your communication makes sense. So they may keep saying in an email, I hope that makes sense to you, or hope you understand that. And they usually show a lot of the characteristics, or some of the characteristics of a lot of the other representation systems. So they may be a bit visual, a bit kinesthetic, and a bit auditory. They usually, I would say a lot of AD people are usually quite kinesthetic as well in the way they represent things. So they'll use words like sense, experience, understand, think, learn, process, decide, motivate, consider, change, perspective, perceive, insensitive, conceive, and know. So very, and this is the way a lot of business people speak. So in their emails they use a lot of dot points and checklists, and they're really interested in frameworks and that sort of stuff, and that's a very AD person, and I'd say they're very close to kinesthetic. So when you're in a room with people, you want to be moving through these quite consistently and easily. So saying, okay, so I see you all here in the room, and I've heard that you're all here to really feel good about yourselves and move forward in a way that's right for you. And luckily, I've got the process here for you. So that's moving through each of the internal representation systems and holding your audience. The great thing about graphic recording and mind mapping is what I do is that it plays to all those representation systems. So I'm standing there, I'm listening in, I'm turning the information into visuals and mapping it. So you get the visuals because it's all cartoons and color and all that sort of thing. You see the process of how it's all going together, which is very AD. And there's kinesthetic because it actually becomes tangible. It's a wall chart or a whiteboard, and it's a big map, so it's something that they can have. And also after the event, when it's all digitally cleaned up and turned into a file and then a booklet, you hand that to your clients and participants, and they absolutely love you because you've given them not only the course, but they've also got this excellent tangible output that they can use on a consistent basis and just hold and flick through and really feel how they were feeling on the day. So that's where graphic recording and mind mapping are such great tools in communication and conferences and speeches. So hope you enjoyed that video. I hope that gives you an idea of another level of detail that is within your communication that you can harness and communicate more creatively and effectively. So thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you soon. All right, cheers, bye.
Call telling.com.au. Visualize and monetize.